Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot. For today's pick a card reading, we have what I call a positivity boost reading, basically something that will bring a smile to your face, a little bit of a pick-me-up for the end of your week, at least. Currently, I am posting this on a Sunday, but of course my readings are always timeless. And as you can tell by the title down below, this pick-me-up reading is What Gift is the Universe Unlocking for You Next? So we're going to ask your spirit team to give us a bit of a glimpse into, kind of like what it says on the tin, what gift is coming for you next. Could be something related to career, relationships, family, friends, self-growth, even spiritual growth. So let's pick our piles to unveil what that gift is. Over here on the left for my pile number ones, we have number 3, the reward, and it says, celebrate your magnificence. In the middle we have for pile number 2s, number 46, be reborn daily, let go of the past and breathe in your new incarnation. And last but not least, over here on the right for pile number 3s, we have number 19, North Star, flip your inner light switch. So just to reiterate, pile 1's the reward, pile 2's be reborn daily, and pile number 3's North Star. As always, feel free to pause on this part of the video if you haven't decided which pile calls the most to you yet. If you're not sure, I always tell people just to go with your first gut instinct, whatever really called to you first, whatever caught your eye first. Then drop down to the description box below and or the top pinned comment beneath the video. Click on your timestamp for your reading there, and I will see you in our discussion about what gift is the universe unlocking for you next. Bye. Hello there, my beautiful pile number ones. Welcome to your pick a card reading today on the topic of what gift is the universe unlocking for you next. As you recall, the card used to pick your pile today was number 3, the reward, celebrate your magnificence. So as always, I'm just going to set your pile leader over here to the left next to the pine cone. Right there. And I already drew the oracle cards for today, but as always, I like to draw the tarot cards on screen. So let's do that right now. So spirit team of pile number ones, could you give me 5 cards, please, that explain more about what this gift is that's coming for them? Thank you. 5 for their highest, best good. Okay, there's one that already popped out. We have the Empress. So Empress. Creative energy, motherly energy, feminine energy. I'll set that down here for now. And then let's pick the other 4. Right there, number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And 5. So that is, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. So let's first reveal your oracle cards. So from the Archetypes cards today, you received, looks like Virgin. So light attribute, maintaining a symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Shadow attribute, fear of intimate union. Talk more about that in a second after we reveal all your cards, of course. Then from the Folklore Oracle, you received, okay, it looks like the hare, or, well, the rabbit, sometimes it's known as. And the hare in this particular deck is often about vitality of both the mind and the body, especially in the way that it represents spring. We associate hares or rabbits with spring, right? It's kind of like symbolic of the renewal of the year. Renewal of the mind and the body. And then from the Woodland Wardens Oracle today, you received, looks like the squirrel and chestnut, which represents preparation. Preparation. We always think of squirrels as always constantly preparing for the winter, right? Collecting all those nuts and acorns to store away in their tree so that they are well fed throughout the winter. And then let's reveal your tarot cards, pile number ones. Here we go, make sure everything is nice and even. Okay, first up from your tarot cards, you received the King of Pentacles. He is the external master of the material world. We have, well, a gorilla in this particular incarnation of the King of Pentacles. Kings, masters of their suit, and especially, like I said, external forces of earth with pentacles, okay? So that often deals with career or money or the material things around us. The second card is the Ace of Wands reversed. Reversed can indicate feeling like at some point in the past there's been a lack of spark or a lack of inspiration, as wands are the fire suit, and fire in tarot is often about, like, creativity. Sometimes can mean confidence too, maybe feeling a lack of confidence in something new, being the ace, but we'll talk about that more in a second. I'm actually going to shift these just a little bit farther north here, making room of my limited space. And then we have the Seven of Cups reversed. Seven of Cups, well, this particular incarnation is, it looks like jellyfish by a coral reef. Seven of Cups reversed is about being careful about the choices we make. Being careful about the dreams that we pursue. Number 4, we have the Two of Cups. This particular version has, it looks like a unicorn here in a cave. Very beautiful. Two of Cups is about harmony in relationships. And last but not least, we have the Empress, which we already saw earlier and I had described. There is it looks like a doe here. The Empress is creation, feminine energy, nurturing energy. All right, so as always, I'm just going to take a slight pause here just to look at your cards in totality, pile number ones. And then after that moment of silence, I will start the actual reading after I kind of get the intuitive downloads and put together a cohesive message. So just one moment, pile number ones. Let's see. Oh, okay, now it clicked, sorry. A little bit of a longer silence there, pile number ones. So what I'm being told, pile number ones. Now remember, this reading is a gift from the universe. This is something coming your way. There isn't necessarily a time frame, but generally I tend to say soon, within maybe the next few months or so with my readings. And the gift in this particular reading is all about maintaining health and security and vitality, especially with the hair, because like I said, the hair in this particular deck represents vitality as its keyword. Yes, health, vitality, sharpness of mind. Resources, too, is kind of an element I'm hearing here, especially with your King of Pentacles that came out as the first card. And making it through a hard time. Now, pile number ones, I know at first glimpse that sounds like, oh God, is there a hard time coming? Like, I think, this is something that you already kind of have been dealing with for a while in terms of, I'm pretty sure intuitively I'm being told that this is hard times or hardship in terms of the material world, because you have so much about, especially because like when you look at like the squirrel and the chestnut, for example, like I said, when we pulled it out, the squirrel is a representative or representation of preparing for the winter, storing seeds away, hiding seeds and burying them, where the squirrel will remember where they planted them later so that they can use them at a separate time when they need them, okay? There's a lot about weathering through difficult shores, or difficult waters, I should say. And the good thing, though, is that the gift is you're going to make it through just fine, pile number ones, especially in terms of the material world, because you do have the King of Pentacles here. Like I said when I first pulled it out, the King of Pentacles is someone who is very in control of the material world around them, someone who is very okay and settled and doing quite well in finances, specifically because it is like external energy. So, kings are like masculine energy in terms of, structure and the things that you do and the things that kind of like physically manifest around us is kind of how I read kings, right? Someone who's very secure in what they have, someone who is doing just fine through a time of hardship. And I do see maybe a little bit of nervousness or anxiety right now in your mind, pile number ones, and I think that's why your spirit team wanted to reach out to you today about this message, is because, especially with the Ace of Wands reversed and the Seven of Cups reversed, that tells me that you're almost at the point of having gone through this time of hardship, and I think specifically financial hardship, or at least maybe living a little bit more lean than you have in past years. You know, it's maybe finances have been a little bit more, you haven't really had as much money to like spend. You've had to kind of focus on just like the main things, right? You know, rent, food, etc., survival, right? And so that's been causing some anxiety here with that Ace of Wands reversed and the Seven of Cups reversed. Maybe even to the point of you thinking, I got to put my dreams on the back burner here with the Seven of Cups reversed, especially. Because like I said, when I pulled that out, the Seven of Cups is often about the dreams that we have. The traditional depiction of it is someone looking at 7 different cups, and in each cup is a different thing. One has riches, one has education, I think, or like a book, or like knowledge is kind of another, probably a better way to put that symbolism, right? Love is another one. Putting dreams on the back burner, and then with the Ace of Wands reversed right next to it, it's like lacking, or feeling at least, that we lack a spark to start a fire in terms of passions, in terms of dreams, especially next to the Seven of Cups reversed, okay? But everything else here, though, is telling me you're going to make it through just fine. So that anxiety, or worry you have right now with the Ace of Wands reversed and the Seven of Cups reversed, pile number ones, is you're going to find that it was kind of all for naught, in terms of, like, you wouldn't have had to have worried had you known, well, I mean, I guess now you do, now you do watching the reading, but had you known before this point, right, that you didn't need to worry about these things, because everything else here is telling me you're going to be just fine. And the good thing, pile number ones, the reason you're going to be just fine is a reward to you from the universe for doing as the squirrel does in preparation, right? That's its keyword, preparation. You're someone who has been very careful about saving your pennies away for a rainy day. You're someone who has been very careful about managing your resources. And because of that, the universe is rewarding you, okay, like your reward card, like the one you picked for your pile leader, is rewarding you with the confirmation that everything's going to be just fine, okay? You're going to be fine. Your health is going to be just fine. You're going to have enough money to, you know, like feed yourself and be very, have like healthy food, whatnot, that type of thing. You know, also too, the hair is representative of not just vitality of the body, but also vitality of mind. So that tells me too, it's not going to be a time of a lot of financial anxiety like you're maybe expecting it's going to be right now, because your very careful preparation is going to make this time a lot more fruitful than it would have had you not been prepared, okay? And then too, with Virgin coming up, when I pulled this card before I started the recording from the Archetypes deck, I asked Spirit, I said, hey, can you pull this card, or give me a card, I should say, because I'm the one that pulled it, right? To symbolize pile number ones in this situation. And it's interesting that Virgin came up, right? Like it says, light attribute, maintaining symbolic purity and heart, or excuse me, of heart and spirit. And what that tells me is it's almost like someone coming through something unscathed. Someone not being, you know, taken advantage of. Someone maintaining a goodness, or, you know, a lightness of heart, especially like it says purity of heart with Virgin, right? Throughout this difficult time, or what would have been a difficult time had you not earned, through your hard work and preparation, peace of mind with both mind and body and financial security, pile number ones, okay? What's interesting too here is you also have the Two of Cups, which, like I said earlier, is about harmony in relationships. And you have the Empress, which is about creation energy, fruitfulness, feminine energy specifically. And then nurturing is the other keyword I was thinking of. And so I think this is telling me this is going to be even more fruitful than you're expecting. I think there's something coming with these particular dreams you have that you thought you might have had to kind of change or kind of hold back on, or you thought, I'm not going to have everything I need to be able to afford that dream. Something is coming along this path you're taking that is going to make it more fruitful to achieve that dream that you're looking for, achieve this thing that you've been saving up for, achieve this thing that you've been preparing for. Does that kind of make sense, pile number ones? So it's not even just the gift of status quo, you're going to be just fine. It's also the gift of you're going to be better off than you thought you would be, especially in terms of financial security, with the King of Pentacles being the first card that came out, right? But also in terms of relationship harmony too. If you've been having any fears recently about these issues causing disharmony in any of your relationships, doesn't necessarily have to be romantic relationships. It could also be, platonic with friends. It could also be familiar with your family. Those are going to ride through just fine as well, with that Two of Cups having come out here. And even too, when we think of unicorns, which is funny because this entire deck, to my understanding, it is a new deck to me, but so far, of all the cards I've seen so far, none of them have any fantastical creatures, except for the Two of Cups, and that's a unicorn, right? And we always think of unicorns as, traditionally in medieval lore, they were seen as, their horns were items that were fabled to have healing properties, right? And so people will go out to find unicorn horns, which I think later on they found out they were actually, was it narwhal? I think they were narwhal horns technically, but they sold them as unicorn horns, people are going to snake oil, right? But symbolically, though, that's what a unicorn is it's a symbol of something very healing and very, well, also too, purity. Okay, and that's funny because you also got the Virgin here, right? Maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. And so I almost sense, too, on top of this gift of financial and, physical security, there's a security of spirit, too. There's a purity of spirit. And when I say that, what I mean tangibly is it's almost like I'm intuitively being told that this period of time is going to kind of give you hope in things turning out for the better again. I don't know if you've been going through a long period of time where you just really haven't had purity of spirit in terms of, the universe has my back, or versus the universe being against me. Having optimism is probably a better word to use just to summarize all of that. So this period of time symbolized by, like I said, the Virgin purity of heart, and then the unicorn also being a symbol of healing and purity, right? Tells me that it's going to be a healing time for you too, in terms of hoping again in things turning out just fine. Because yes, there's always ups and downs in life. There's always going to be times of hardship. There's always going to be times of harvest, right? Even just in the cycles of the year, we see that, and it's funny because you got the hare, which, like I said earlier, is associated with spring. Right, we think of bunnies in the spring, even when we do Easter celebrations, for example. We think of bunnies, we think of, Easter eggs. Eggs are also symbolic of new life, okay? Rebirth. And so this period of time for you, this gift coming, is also, it's if I had to summarize it in one sentence, pile number ones, yes, there's a financial security part. That's great, right? But there's also the renewal of spirit, like the spring after the winter, too, with a lot of this healing and purity and spring symbolism coming out in your reading. Okay, especially, too, because on the opposite end, we see the squirrel. And the squirrel is often, we think of squirrels typically about, in the fall, because that's when they're running around everywhere, darting around, collecting their acorns and collecting their nuts and trying to prepare. And so that's the phase of your life you've been in up until this point. You've been the squirrel. You've been preparing. You've been trying to collect all those seeds. You are pretty sure, I think there might be a storm coming of some sort, or, maybe you've been thinking to yourself, I don't know if, is my job secure? I know there's been a lot of layoffs recently in the working world. And so maybe you've had some of those fears. So you've been the squirrel, you've been preparing, putting away that rainy day fund, or you're kind of worried about how much you're able to prepare, right? And so what this is telling you is that now that you're done with this autumn or fall phase of your life, this gift that's coming is the purifying nature of the metaphorical winter into the spring of rebirth and renewal in terms of the spirit, and not just in finances, like I said, but also in terms of your optimism, your hope in the universe that, yes, after that grueling preparation time of the fall, after that cold winter, which, we always traditionally associate winter with a time of struggle because, things don't grow in the winter, usually, at least. Most plants don't. Or the plants that we eat don't, right? Into a spring where it's like, okay, now things are lush again. I'm going to be just fine. I'm going to have the vitality of the mind and the body that I've been looking for, especially in terms of the financial security of the King of Pentacles. And not just being fine, but also being better than we expected with that Empress energy at the end here, okay? Harmony in relationships and healing with the Two of Cups, and more fruitful periods of time with the Empress. Things being a lot of creation energy, once again. Reminds you a lot of the spring. It's like the gift, if I had to summarize it in one sentence, pile number 1 is the spring of your soul and your life and your finances after a difficult fall and winter, metaphorically speaking, in terms of how your life has been going up until this point, okay? Let's see if there's any other messages here that I'm going to make sure I didn't miss anything. 1 second. Apologies for the silence. Yeah, it's like another aspect that's coming out, especially with the Seven of Cups reversed here, it's like there's a dream that you thought you had to put on the back burner, or that you had to diminish or change to be less than it was. And part of the gift is you realizing that it's like your original image of what it was supposed to be is what will come to fruition. You won't have to pare back on that dream like you thought you did. The symbolism I'm getting is almost like you expecting a meal of like a single potato. I know it's really weird I'm using a potato, but it's the first thing that came to mind. You expecting a meal of just a single potato, and then all of a sudden you're getting a feast. You're like, well, wait a minute. I expected a potato, like just one. That's all I thought I was going to have to eat. And then all of a sudden there's this feast of, oh, okay, well now I have a steak. Now I have potato. Now I have green beans. Now I have, a dessert on top of it. Like, it's a lot more being returned to you than you thought would return to you. What you thought would be a time of hardship is going to be a time of fruitfulness, okay? Gorgeous reading. Let's see, make sure there's no other messages here. Yeah, and two, it's very telling that, so this particular deck here that we chose the pile leaders with is called the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. And the reason why it's called the Hero's Journey is because this particular deck is based off of what's called the cultural monomyth of at least Western storytelling, okay? So it talks about the common phases in stories that we read or we watch, depending on how you consume your content, right? That are common to all heroes, okay? And so oftentimes when a hero has gone through a time of tribulation, they walked into an adventure and then they had some struggles, they had some fights. Then comes the climax where they achieve the thing that they've been set out to, or what they set out to achieve in the first place. And then after that is the step called the reward, okay? That's what this particular card, that's why it's named that, the reward, the one you picked your pile with, because it's symbolic of the time of you having gone, just like like a hero does, right? Gone through that time of struggle. I set out, I went on an adventure, I came across some obstacles, I came to a climactic battle, even, doesn't have to be a physical battle, but oftentimes it is in stories, at least in myths, right? And then I came home, and then here's my reward. The gift, pile number 1s, for you is the reward that like a hero gets after they come home after a grueling adventure. Like I said, it's almost symbolic of that spring after the winter I was talking about earlier. So, yeah. So just to summarize pile number ones, whatever it is you have been worried about, especially in terms of finances and health, okay, of both mind and body, because that's what the hair talks about is vitality of the mind and body. Something that you've maybe been kind of preparing for, or you've been a little bit worried about, like putting dreams on the back burner for, the gift from the universe that's unlocking for you next is you're going to come through just fine and probably even better through this time of hardship than you thought you would. It's going to be a spring of abundance after a hardship of a time of like a lot of preparation in, you know, a metaphorical fall, and then a time of hardship in a metaphorical winter of your life. Okay. That's the gift, is the spring after the dark winter for you, pile number ones. Okay. So I will leave you with that today. As always, I hope that reading was helpful for you. I hope it put a bit of a spring in your step. Excuse the pun, because I mentioned the season spring like a million times. And even rabbits we think of, well, it's like a double pun because they jump around. Anyways, I guess I'm full of puns today. Anyways, hope that reading was helpful for you. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile number ones. Bye. Hello there, my beautiful pile number twos. Welcome to your pick a card reading today on the topic of what gift is the universe unlocking for you next. As you recall, the card used to pick your pile was number 46, Be Reborn Daily. Let go of the past and breathe in your new incarnation. So, as always, we'll set your pile leader over here down to the left. I already drew your oracle cards, and then I'm going to draw your tarot cards on the screen, so we'll do that right now. Spirit team of pile number twos, could you give me 5 tarot cards explaining more about what gift is unlocking for them next? Thank you for their highest best good. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3 actually. And that one for sure is trying to, well, hey, there's actually 2 coming out. That was probably the quickest draw I've ever had on screen. I think that's 5. Wow, that came fast. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, okay. So we'll talk about those in a second. Like I said, quickest tarot draw I've ever had on screen. Apparently the message is eager today. So, put your Be Reborn Daily over here, and then let's review your oracle cards. So, first up we have from the Archetypes cards, Hedonist. Light attributes, inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. Shadow attributes, pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. Okay, Hedonist. And then, from the Folklore Oracle today, you received Owl. Gorgeous card. And in this particular deck, the owl is all about, well, the key word is observation. It's almost kind of like the Hanged Man in tarot, if you're familiar with that card. It's about seeing things from different perspectives, almost like how the owl, because to my understanding, I don't think owls can actually move their eyes. I think they rotate their heads, and they can rotate their heads like almost completely all the way around. So that's why it represents seeing things from different perspectives. Also, in many cultures, they were, well, sometimes associated with justice because of Athena, right? And knowledge. But some cultures, they were also associated with seeing the other side, being messengers between the mundane and the supernatural. So we'll put that one there. And then from the Woodland Wardens Oracle, you received the Coyote and Datura, which is more commonly known as the Moonflower. Deceit. Interesting. Deceit. And then revealing your tarot cards. First up, we have the Star Reversed. The Star Reversed can represent feeling like we've lost hope in something. Lost sight of a hope or a dream. Number 2, we have the Queen of Pentacles Reversed. The Queen of Pentacles Reversed can indicate a feeling of a lack of security inside regarding material things, regarding our self-confidence sometimes, because I do associate pentacles with the body at times, right? The material thing around us, the thing we walk around there with. Can also mean finances as well. Traditionally, the Pentacles are a finance suit, so. And then the third card is the Tower reversed, okay? The Tower reversed is often about a time of change, but not being quite at the point of the large change yet, and or there's still some work that needs to be done before the change can be made. That's how I would explain the Tower reversed. And then the two that already flipped out and showed themselves. We have the Two of Wands reversed. Lots of reversals. You all have reversals today, completely. Two of Wands reversed is about feeling like we're not quite sure about what plans or passions we want to pursue. Being a little bit confused about which direction to go in terms of what ignites us. And last but not least, we have the Chariot reversed, which is kind of a similar message. The Chariot reversed is often feeling like we lack control over a certain aspect of our life. The depiction of the Chariot in this particular deck I always love because, it's like a tunnel of trees, and we think of it as like very focused, and that bird's going right towards the end of that tunnel. By reversed, it's like we're not quite sure about how do we go, or where do we find the straight path towards where we're going? Rein in the chaos, rein in the confusion to find that final light at the end and reach that goal. Okay. So I know the reading looks a little bit negative right now, so because we have a lot of reversals, so don't run away from the tarot reading yet. I promise there's a positive meaning because, like I said, this reading is about what gift is coming next from the universe, okay? And as I always say in my readings, whenever there is a majority major arcana, which you do have, you have the Star, the Tower, and the Chariot, compared to just 2 minor arcana. That tells me that this reading is regarding or involving a time of a major life lesson in your life, in this particular incarnation you're living, or a massive major change, okay? Which, you also got the Tower, which is about major changes, okay? Pivotal moments. So I'm going to pause for just a moment here, look over your cards, take a drink, and then put together a cohesive message and get some intuitive messages in as well from your spirit guides pile number 2 is okay. So just a moment. Apologies for the silence. It's very interesting because you have a lot of cards about seeing things clearly. And then the Coyote and the Datura, the Moonflower, is a lot about like deceit. And the Coyote, traditionally, in at least Native American belief, was associated often as a trickster figure, someone being trickstery. It's almost like the 7 of Swords in tarot, if you're familiar with that particular card. That's interesting. My eye is really drawn there. So, pile number 2s. What I want to say to you is, I think you've been going through a period of life right now where it feels like I get the sense of a lot of confusion, number 1. I also get the sense of a lot of not being sure where to go or what to change or what to do. I say that because, yes, not only with the owl, which is the keyword for that card from the Folklore Oracle, is observation, seeing things from different perspectives, like the owl turns its head, right? Okay, you also have the Coyote and the Datura, which, like I just said, is about deceit. It's a trickster figure often. And not just that, you also have the Tower, which is, like I said, a time of massive change. And the Two of Wands reversed next to the Chariot reversed also tells me, to summarize those 2 cards next to each other is, the Tower reversed is, I know there's a change that needs to be made, but I don't know what to do. Two of Wands reversed is, I know I have to go forward. I know there's something that I want, something that I'm yearning for, something that I'm desiring, but I'm not quite sure how to go about it. And then same thing with the Chariot reversed is about, how do I rein in this chaos? How do I put everything into a cohesive picture so that I know exactly where to fly forward with this situation, okay? And I know this is kind of negative, like I said. Don't run away from the reading yet. But I just want to give some background and context to what the gift is, okay? So that you know what your spirit team is talking about. And 2 is interesting here. You have the Star reversed next to the Queen of Pentacles reversed in the first 2 positions. And so, yes, the Star is reversed is about like feeling like we lack hope or faith in something. And then the Queen of Pentacles reversed is feeling like we lack internal security, especially with the material world. So that could be something to do with career. It could be something to do with finances, something with our body. So that could be like insecurity or self-esteem issues, right? One of those 2. And so to put this together, pile number 2 is into like a cohesive what's going on. I feel like the period of your life up until this point, recently at least, is there's something that you want to do or something that you know that you need to change or want to change. However, it feels like you've been going in circles, not sure about how to go forward. And I believe it's something related to either your career, your finances, or something about your self-esteem or your self-image, especially with that Queen of Pentacles reversed. The good news is, though, pile number 2 is not only symbolized by the pile leader you chose, which is Be Reborn Daily, and I'll just reiterate, it says, let go of the past and breathe in your new incarnation. You also have with Hedonist, which looks negative on the surface, right? We think of Hedonist as like with a negative connotation, but the light attributes of this card are inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. So the writing on the wall is right there, pile number 2. This period of confusion, this period of I'm not sure what the heck to do. I know I need to change, or I want something to change, or I know I have a goal, but I'm losing faith in it. What the heck do I do? I'm going in circles. The gift from the universe, pile number 2, is that time is coming to an end. The time of confusion, the time of spinning around in circles, the time of feeling like you're not quite sure where to go or what to do. The gift from the universe is that something is coming that will provide the insight that you've been looking for to move forward finally past this time of hardship in terms of not being sure what to do or where to go. Okay? That's how I would summarize your reading so far. And what's interesting to me is, and I'll just reiterate, with the Hedonist here, inspires creative energy, embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. There's something coming in terms of, well, it depends. So this is a general reading. I always say everyone's going to be just a bit different. But like I said with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, this unsettled feeling is, either about your finances, your career, or the way you perceive yourself. Something is coming where if it's the way you perceive yourself, like maybe you've been struggling with some self-esteem issues or self-image issues, and you've been trying to think, well, how the heck do I move forward and fix that issue? And, because a lot of times it's very difficult to change our perceptions of ourselves, especially negative ones. Oftentimes we receive those negative beliefs about ourselves from a very young age, and or even if not just from childhood, general experiences with other people. Oftentimes the way people treat us teaches us the way that we treat ourselves, and a lot of overcoming emotional or mental issues like that, especially with self-esteem, self-image, is realizing and teaching ourselves that person wasn't right or those people were not right. I don't have to view myself through the glasses that someone else gave me. I don't have to view myself through the lens that someone else tried to put upon me. Okay, so if you've been struggling with self-esteem or self-image issues, that time is coming to an end, pile number 2 or at the very least, the gift is that you're going to make a really big change soon about the way that you perceive yourself, especially because, like I said, with Hedonist, celebrates the beauty in yourself, okay? You're going to realize, hey, I do have self-worth. There are things about myself I can be proud of. And for those of you where this is more of like a career or financial security related thing, because like I said, generating everyone's going to be a bit different. Some of you will be self-esteem and image issues, right? some of you it will be career and finances. For those of you where this is career or finance issues, where you're like, I'm not sure what career path to take, or I'm not sure if I want to stay at a certain job or move to a new one. I'm not sure if I want to stay in the same kind of career field or go to a new one. What is coming soon? This is the gift for you guys. For those of you that the career finance applies to. The gift is that you're going to, what's the best way to put it? My eye is always drawn here back to hedonist, inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life. This is someone who is enjoying themselves. This is someone who is sitting there with a basket of fruit, reclining and enjoying some, what looks like really delicious grapes, okay? Someone who is actually enjoying life. The change, the gift for you is you're going to have it click in your mind, the path going forward that would bring you to that state of embracing the good things in life. It's a career or it's like a job change where you actually can enjoy yourself more, because I feel like for those of you where this is like a career thing right now, if that's the part that applies to you, you're not very happy with where you're at right now, okay? Things are confusing. Things feel unclear. It might even be part of the issue is that the direction that your company is going right now is making you feel a little bit anxious, like maybe, there's been layoffs lately, or the company hasn't been doing so well, and so you've been kind of having a lot of this insecurity about, well, where the heck are we going? Like, and part of the issue is that a lot of our future, we plan based on what job we have, because our job or our career is what decides, how much money do I have to work on my dreams or my goals, right? To, maintain my home where I live and, keep the rain out of my soup, to even buy soup to eat, I'm gonna, using soup as an example for just food in general. And so that maybe that's part of the reason why you've been so confused, is because you're like, how the heck am I supposed to plan for the future or have hope or faith in the future? The star reversed, right? And the Two of Wands reversed, when I don't have all the information I need from this particular job, this company, to know where I stand or where I'll be at a certain point in time, okay? So if that's been your worry, pile number 2s, if it's less of a self-esteem issue and this is more of a career-related thing, okay, or finances, I should say, too, it's kind of an all-encompassing, with the Queen of Pentacles, it's all-encompassing the material world, right? If that has been your worry, no matter what, the gift from the universe is you're going to end up in a place, even if it's the same spot, same company, or a new one, or a new career field, where you're going to actually enjoy your life more. I also see, especially too with, when it says on the card, inspires creative energy, okay? I almost feel like it's going to be a job or a role or a change at the company that will allow you more creativity, and that's kind of the reason why it sparks a more feeling of satisfaction within you, because it's something that, and I just kind of feel like the job you're doing right now kind of, maybe it dulls your soul a little bit. Like you feel like, well, yeah, it pays my bills, but it's not really something I'm happy doing, a lot of people, probably the majority of people, that's the jobs that they have, puts money on the table, food on the table, keeps the rain out of your soup, but maybe it doesn't make our soul sing. And that's the thing, is that you're being directed to, this gift is being, yes, directed to a path towards a career or a job or a role, even if it's at the same company, where your soul will actually be able to sing a little bit more. It's not going to be the old, soul-killing thing that you're doing now, just to put it bluntly. Soul-killing, right? And 2, with Be Reborn Daily, let go of the past, breathe in your new incarnation. Whether or not this is a self-esteem, self-image related thing for you, pile number 2, or it's a career finances thing, it almost feels like this is going to be such a major shift, especially with all those major arcana I talked about, right? That your life now, compared to after the change, after that tower moment does come, is going to be radically different. If it's a career-related thing, it could be that you choose a completely different career, okay? It could be, if it's like a self-esteem, a self-image related thing, your view of yourself is going to be completely rehauled, and it's going to give you the tools to live your life a lot more fruitfully and a lot more in a way that you can enjoy it more, where you're not so saddled down with, you know, because when you do have self-esteem or self-image issues, right, that can really put a damper on your life in terms of enjoyment of it. And so, you know, like, just to summarize pile number 2 is when I did pull the Oracle cards, especially the archetypes, I said to your spirit team, I said, this particular deck, give me a card that represents pile number 2's when they're enjoying or receiving this gift. Okay. And that image right there is representative of what they're saying is how you're going to feel when the gift comes. Someone who's reclining, having a grand old time eating some what looks like really delicious fruit, okay? Enjoying the fruits of your labor, enjoying life more, okay? Inspire creative energy, embrace the good things in life, celebrate the beauty in yourself. And then, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything here, pile number 2's. You're one of the readings where it's kind of a twofold message, where it's general, so there's 2 different groups, like I said, the self-esteem group and then the career group, right? For those of you where this is a career-related thing, I get the sense that most of you, I'm really drawn to the Tower here. The Tower reverse, like I said, is about something that needs to change or fall down, but isn't quite there yet. I almost feel like maybe the company that you're at is represented by the Tower reversed, and I don't want to scare you and be like, oh no, your company that you work at is going to fail and you're going to lose your job, because here's the gift from the universe. You're going to end up in a place that's so much better, okay? Miles better, all right? You're going to be a lot more happy with where you end up, but just know that, yes, intuitively, I feel like for those of you where this is a career-related reading, the Tower is likely, you know, if you're not looking to change your field of career, it might be that the company technically goes under with that Tower reversed, okay? And or it goes through a complete rehaul. Something where it's almost like the identity of the company is not what it used to be. It could even be like an overturn of like people in, what do they call it, C-suite roles, the people who are in higher roles. And so it basically could completely changes the nature of the company, even if it doesn't technically fail, right? But, I mean, that's, like, look at your pile later. You be reborn daily. Breathe in your new incarnation. There's a lot about something being let go of to become something new, okay? Whether that be, you know, letting go of self-esteem or self-image issues, letting go of that old version of yourself that isn't so happy into someone who is happy with themselves, right? Or if this is career finances related for you, letting go of that old company, or the company just letting go of itself, I guess, is another way to interpret that, to make for something new, reborn, better than what you had before or what it was before, okay? So, yeah. And that way, part of the gift, too, is being given or brought to a place where the star will be upright, the 2 of Wands will be upright, the Chariot will be upright, okay? And when I say they'll be upright, what that indicates is a change from having hope and faith in the future again, okay? Having solid information or at least the ability to make solid plans for the future with the 2 of Wands reversed, right? And the Chariot reversed is that shift into upright would be being able to reign in the chaos, not feeling like, you know, you lack the information you need to make choices towards your future based on what's going on with career and finances, okay? Does that kind of make sense, pile number 2? So if I were to summarize your reading in one sentence, for those of you who are in the self-esteem, self-image group, okay, your gift from the universe that's unlocking soon is some sort of trigger, some sort of moment that's going to happen, that's going to completely rehaul, or at least be a major step in being reborn as someone who doesn't have the self-esteem or self-image issues anymore, or at least getting a lot better about it, okay, than you were before. Where, after that period of change to being more confident, celebrating the beauty in yourself, like your hedonist card says, it's going to make your life a lot easier, not burdened anymore by those self-esteem, self-image issues. Okay, that's group number 1. Okay, group number 2 of pile number 2. If this is career and finances related for you, this gift coming is about a major change. Could be a complete career change. Could be the company you're currently working at potentially going under, okay? Or being so completely overhauled it almost has a new identity. It's not even itself anymore. But even with that tower moment, okay, what comes forward from that, your gift from the universe, pile number 2 is for those of you this in that group of career finances, right, is that you're going to be led to somewhere a lot more fruitful for creativity, satisfaction in life, enjoying things in life. Could even be a pay raise too, because, you know, I see it too with hedonist. I mean, she's enjoying a lot of fruit. She's enjoying a lot of relaxation time. You know, that kind of tells me someone who is financially well off, right? Or it indicates that. So it could even be like not just an increase in terms of, you know, you're not going to be at a job that kills your soul anymore, or at least, you know, you're not quite so happy at. It could also be financially better for you in terms of what you're paid for it. Paid better, maybe better vacation time and benefits, and or something that is more aligned with your soul. And so you feel more alive doing that particular job or being at that particular company. Okay, so the gift is a revitalization of self across the board. Revitalization after a time of struggle into a place that's better for you. Okay, pile number 2. Let's see if there's any other messages here before I sign off with you. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, one last thing. Okay, because you have the owl, which is about observation, and you have the coyote and datura, which is deceit is the keyword for that card. There's one little piece of advice here from Spirit. Things are not going to be what they seem when this comes across, okay? Especially for those of you, I'm feeling this is a career finances related thing. Things are going to be deceiving, okay? It might seem a lot worse before you realize that you're going to end up better off than you thought you would be, okay? Especially if this is like a company going under type situation, right? Take a deep breath if or when that happens, pile number 2 is okay. And just know, yes, the moment of the tower falling is scary, okay? But there's something better at the end of that tower falling, is how I would put it. So just be aware, things are not what they seem. It might seem like something scary. It might seem like, oh no, what am I going to do? You're going to be just fine. And that's the gift from the universe, pile number 2 is you're going to be just fine and in a way better place after this time of a little bit of chaos, you know, or a little bit of working through self-esteem or self-image issues. A complete rehaul of life with especially be reborn daily, breathe a new incarnation, like it says in the tagline. So just, yeah, something's deceitful, okay? Don't freak out. It's okay, or it's going to be okay, right? So I'll leave you with that, pile number 2. As always, I hope that reading was helpful for you. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile number 2. All right, bye. Hello there, my beautiful pile number 3s. Welcome to your pick a card reading today on the topic of what gift is the universe unlocking for you next. As you recall, the card you used to pick your pile was number 19, North Star. Flip your inner light switch. So as always, we'll set the pile leader down here to the left next to the pine cone. We already drew your oracle cards, and then as always on screen, I'm going to draw your tarot cards right now. So, Spirit team of pile number 3s, could you explain more about what this gift coming from the universe soon is for pile number 3s? For their highest best good, 5 cards please, thank you. Oh boy. Might have been all 5 that just slammed out there, we'll see. I'll have to count 1 second. Booga booga. Okay, we have 4. Okay, so 4, I'm going to pick 1 more. You're kind of like pile number 2s today, pile number 3s. All their cards kind of just slapped out at once, too. Right there. Okay, number 5. Well, there you go. That makes my job easier. I don't have to pick 5 cards. They all just came flying out, most of them. So we'll set those down here, and then we'll first reveal your Oracle cards. So from the Archetypes cards, today you received Scribe, Light Attribute, Preserving Knowledge and Information, Shadow Attribute, Altering Facts or Plagiarizing Others' Work. So we have a almost student writing type vibe here with the Scribe. And then from the Folklore Oracle, today you received, oh cute, the Will-o'-the-Wisp. Beautiful card here. And in this particular deck, the Will-o'-the-Wisp represents, the keyword is yearning, okay? Oftentimes, you know, there are probably countless stories across the world of little lights people see at night in different areas. At least I know there's stories of that, like here in the United States. I believe the Will-o'-the-Wisp is from the British Isles, so there too, and I'm sure all across the world. It's all about kind of seeing a little thing that catches your eye, a little light that catches your eye, a spark, and following it, yearning, okay? What is it that you're dreaming for? What is it that you're yearning for? And following that little light through the darkness, which is interesting because you also got North Star. That was the pile leader that you chose. And traditionally, the North Star, also known as Polaris, right? It's the very tail end of Ursa Minor, the Little Dipper, is a star that's used for navigation because the star is always right towards the North Pole of Earth. So whenever you follow the North Star, it's a directional star. It's a little light that we follow, just like a will-o'-the-wisp. So that's interesting. Some symbolism here we have shared across your cards. Sorry, I had a little bit of a tangent there, but I just wanted to explain more about the symbolism, right? And then next up from the Woodland Wardens Oracle, you received the Bear and the Cedar, Leadership. Very cute. Leadership. Interesting. Also, that's funny because we think of, oftentimes, you know, symbolically a leader within a group of people is the North Star of that group, right? The person that the other people follow, just like Polaris. A lot of synchronicity in this pile number 3s. And then let's reveal, excuse me, sorry, my voice is a bit scratchy. Let's reveal your tarot cards. So first up, we have the Ten of Swords reversed, overcoming a time of, sometimes it can mean overcoming betrayal. Sometimes it can mean overcoming a time of pain, or overcoming what we thought was the end, but it wasn't. Really is kind of contextual based on the other cards that appear. We have the Page of Pentacles reversed, asking for more exploration of the material world around us, which is interesting because you also got the King of Pentacles next. And the King of Pentacles, this gorilla here, is the king of the material world, the external manifestation of Earth. And so, tangibly, what that means is mastering finances, mastering career, mastering, sometimes it can mean like health and body. I associate pentacles with body sometimes too. There we go. And then we have the Five of Cups reversed, beautiful, overcoming a time of sadness or grief, very similar to what we got with the Ten of Swords earlier. And then last but not least, we have the Knight of Cups with the Manta Ray, taking action on our feelings. Knights are the card of moving forward, and the cups are our feelings, our emotions, being the water suit. So just a moment of silence here. I apologize. I'm going to be quiet just so I take a drink, look over your cards, put together a cohesive message, and also get some intuitive messages from your spirit team as I look over them. So I'm going to be quiet for just a moment here, pile number 3s. Interesting. Sorry I'm a little bit quiet longer on this particular reading, but let's see, time of betrayal, Yeah, especially with the Knight of Cups. Okay. Pile number 3 is, I'm going to ask you a question. This might kind of sound odd, or excuse me, might sound kind of odd. I flipped the words around. Is there something that you've been wanting to do that you feel like hasn't been done before? Because I get the feeling off of this reading, okay, you have an abundance of cards regarding following your dreams with the Will-o'-the-Wisp. That's about yearning. I'm in a time of darkness or an area of darkness, metaphorically speaking, and I see a little light and I'm going to follow after it. Okay? That's why it represents yearning, following your dreams. You also have a lot of cards around not just following a light, but you have North Star, which is what you picked, right? Flip your inner light switch. Polaris is a navigational star. We follow it to find directional north. You also have the Bear and Cedar, which is leadership. So there's a lot of cards representing following a dream, number 1, but also following a dream in where you're going to be a leader. It could be that either you're already attempting this, and that's the state that you're at when you come to this reading, or it's something that you've been considering and you're not sure whether to go forward with it. And specifically, the Archetypes card over here, Scribe. When I pulled that card for you, pile number 3, before I started the recording, I asked your spirit team, I said, can you describe to me with this deck what role pile number 3 plays in this gift that's coming from the universe? And that's what you got with Scribe, preserving knowledge and information. This goal, pile number 3, is something to do with, yeah, like it says, preserving knowledge and information. I don't know if there's some hobby you have where you collect a lot, or maybe even your job, where you collect a lot of data, or you put a lot of information together, or you write a lot too, because a scribe is literally, they scribe things down, writing like with the feather pen here, or the quill, I should say. And it's like something new in this area, or something you haven't been able to achieve yet, and you've been maybe following after it for a long time, especially with North Star and the Will-o'-the-Wisp. It's like something that you haven't done before, something that you haven't achieved yet, and it's been like this long-standing goal in your mind of, I want to achieve that, and I'm still running after it, and when I do it, or when I find it, I'm going to be the first person to get there, hence the leadership of the Bear and the Cedar. Okay. That's kind of what I'm feeling, at least as the context leading up to the reading of, well, what's the actual gift? Because you're probably wondering, well, what's the gift? Because, that's all context, right? And the gift pile number 3, I'm just going to tell you, you're going to be reaching whatever that goal is, whatever that little North Star you've been following is, whatever that little thing that you've been searching for, that dream you've been running after, that little light that's been guiding your way, you're going to reach it. And I say that because leadership, okay, that card is about achieving mastery in an area, right? Being a leader. Same thing too with the King of Pentacles. This is someone who masters something in the material world. This is someone who achieves the material thing that they've been looking for. Okay, so the gift from the universe pile number 3 is whatever that thing you've been yearning for is, with that context of something maybe you haven't done before, or you've been searching for a long time, or you might be the first person to do it. Yeah, you're going to reach it. Okay, that's the gift from the universe. And, just for a little bit more context too, we have the Ten of Swords in the beginning here reversed. We also have the Page of Pentacles reversed. I feel like, yeah, this is something that you almost kind of gave up on, especially with the Ten of Swords reversed and the Page of Pentacles reversed. Something you felt like, I'm at the end of my tether. I don't know if there's any other avenues I can explore with this. I don't know if there's anything new I can do with this. Because the traditional depiction of the Ten of Swords is someone who is literally laying face down with a bunch of swords in their back. So sometimes, yeah, it can mean betrayal because it's stabbing in the back. But I think for you, pile number 3, this is more about feeling like, I'm at the end. I'm defeated. I don't know what other paths to take. I feel like I'm at the end of my tether. I feel like, there's nothing else I can do in this area. to try to get to this dream or this thing that I've been seeking. Or maybe even it's finding knowledge or information on something. Maybe that's why the scribe came up. Pile number 3 was you're the scribe in this situation because there's a piece of knowledge that you've been seeking for a long time, some information. Okay. And you're like, I've tried all the avenues. I have attempted every path I could take towards it. And that little will-o'-the-wisp, that little North Star is just a little bit still out of my reach. But yes, the gift is after a time of just a little bit more exploring, especially with the Page of Pentacles reversed, pile number 3's reversed, it's asking you to explore the material world even a little bit more. As much as you think that you've already explored all avenues, part of the gift is there's still an avenue open that you haven't searched yet. Okay? And when you find that avenue, when you find that street, metaphorically speaking, that's when it's going to click and you're going to shift into that King of Pentacles energy of, oh God, I finally have caught that little light that was glimmering. I finally reached that North Star. I'm in the lead now. I have that information or that piece of knowledge that I've been seeking. Okay? That's the core of the reading, is that King of Pentacles. But we have even more positive messages coming through pile number 3 with the 5 of Cups reversed and the Knight of Cups at the end here. 5 of Cups reversed is overcoming of time of sadness, okay? Whatever about this search that has been making you upset in terms of, especially if we've been striving for something for a very long time, we can get sad about it. We can get depressed about it. Maybe that's even where that energy of the 10 of Swords reversed comes from, of I'm at the end, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, I'll just accept that it's not coming, or I'll accept that it wasn't just meant for me to find that thing or know that thing. That time of sorrow is coming over, or coming to an end with the 5 of Cups reversed, okay? And beautifully at the end here with the the Knight of Cups at the end. This is someone who takes action on their emotions. This piece of knowledge that you're seeking, or this thing related to knowledge that you're trying to become a leader in, and or like the thing that you've been yearning for, right, is going to lead to a path where, how do I put it? Intuitively, the image I am getting, pile number 3, is it's like you've been on this really narrow, rocky path for a long time. And along the way, it's been painful. Maybe there's been sharp rocks that have cut through your clothes, metaphorically speaking, and dug into you. And it feels like there's just been not a lot of room. Maybe you had to kind of metaphorically crawl at points. And after this time of hardship, after this time of I can't find the thing that I'm seeking, I can't find that information, there's going to be a whole world that opens up to you with that Knight of Cups, taking action on our emotions, right? Because a manta ray here, he's not obstructed at all by, little tiny crevices and really hard, small paths to walk. He's free to float anywhere he wants to in this big new ocean that's opened up to him, right? So that's what I'm feeling for you, pile number 3, is it's a teeny little thing you've been following, almost like a creek of information, or a little small tiny stream or creek flow of success, whatever it is that you've been yearning for, and then boom, there's an ocean on the other end where you're like, okay, it's almost like, well, it's either feast or it's either famine. And then in terms of the thing you've been seeking, it's been famine a lot up until this point, and then all of a sudden feast. You're going to be like, okay, well, wow, this is a completely new world. I have a complete new thing to explore, or a complete new horizon stretching out before me that leads me to somewhere where I can explore this even more. So yes, the gift from the universe, pile number 3, is whatever the information you've been seeking that you've been has been eluding you for a long time. Whatever the goal you've been seeking for a long time is, especially if it's something related to information or knowledge and or being a leader in a certain area, doing something that hasn't been done before or hasn't been found before, okay? The gift from the universe with that King of Pentacles, especially the Knight of Cups too, is not only are you going to reach it, okay, but you're also going to find a lot broader of a whole new world opening up in this area after you reach it. So it's going to be even more fruitful, I think, than you thought it would be. It's going to be more, what's the best way to put it? Especially in terms of Like for those of you where this is like a piece of information or knowledge you've been seeking, where, yeah, it's just like that one little bit of information or knowledge that you get, you finally reach that little will-o'-the-wisp you've been following. And then a lot of times just even one piece of information can finally lead us to like the whole untapped, like, freaking gold mine of after we just have like that one little key. It's almost symbolically like even a key itself, right? Where the gift is this key of knowledge to open up a whole new door into this whole new world, into, you know, you're going to find a lot more there than you thought you would, is kind of what I'm saying, pile number 3s. And I'm kind of repeating a lot, but these are the images that are kind of coming to mind for you. So yeah, let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. I'm going to keep looking over your cards. Yeah, and too, it's funny because with the pile leader you chose, North Star, flip your inner light switch. It's almost going to be kind of like a click, like, oh, like clicking on literally like a light switch. Where before it was like you could barely see anything in this metaphorical room of unknowns and not being sure about if you can reach whatever this is. And then the light turns on, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's a whole room around me of things to explore. Okay, it's very exploratory is another word I should use, right? Just having a whole new thing to explore. And that's the beauty of it, pile number 3s, is it's not even an end either to this journey of seeking and curiosity. It's also like a brand new door of a new beginning, or at least a new phase into an even bigger, what's the best word to say, or what's the best way to put it? Sorry. I'm brain farting a bit. It's like opening a brand new door into a whole new world that you didn't even know existed in this area that you're seeking. Just to kind of summarize everything I've said so far, pile number 3s. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Also, just intuitive message sometimes comes through too. I almost get the feeling, at least for some of you, it's something related to history. Especially with scribe. Yeah, something related to history. And are those... I'm sorry, I'm going to look closer at this card. Are those pomegranates on her shawl? They look like berries, or almost fruit. It's interesting. Well, my first inclination was pomegranate. And whenever I think of pomegranates, I always harken back to the story of Persephone going to the underworld with Hades, right, in Greek mythology. And if I remember correctly, feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but at least the way I was told the story was she was not supposed to, Persephone was not supposed to eat anything down in the world of the underworld, otherwise she would be stuck there. And I think it was pomegranate seeds that she ate. And so she got stuck there, or like it was like a whole new world she was introduced to. So that's why it's kind of the same thing as symbolically pile number 3 is this gift from the universe is like that pomegranate, those seeds being given to you and you eating them and then realizing, okay, like, you know, I lived my life in this one world for such a long time, you know, the overworld where Persephone was from, right, being I believe she was the daughter of Demeter. And then after eating this pomegranate, these seeds, like, okay, there's this whole new other side of this world I didn't even know that now I am in the domain of. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I would look up the myth of Persephone, pile number 3, see if anything resonates with you, but to my understanding, that's kind of in totality what the myth is all about, especially at least pertaining to the pomegranate seeds, right? Interesting. Well, I think that is it. Your reading is a little bit shorter today, pile number 3, but yeah, just to summarize, the good news is something that you've been yearning for, especially in terms of knowledge or information. Something that you haven't found before or no one else has found before, that you've really been seeking for a long time, it seems like. The gift from the universe that's unlocking for you soon is that after this time of struggle, of feeling like there's nothing else I can explore, there's no other avenue, it's just lost to time, I will never find this out, you're going to find that thing. You're going to reach that will-o'-the-wisp, that little light in the darkness, and it's going to open a whole new world of information and things to explore afterwards to your heart's content. Okay. That is your gift from the universe today, pile number 3. So I will leave you with that. As always, I hope that reading was helpful for you. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile number 3s. Bye.